within the theme of hypocrisy, of nifaq. This is a very important concept for us to understand as Muslims. Very important. Mainly because it's actually very dangerous. It's easily something that you can ignore, end up falling into, and causing you a lot of distress at the time that you don't want to be in distress. Here's why I think it's important to take some time and think about it and understand it. The hadith tonight is a very short one. I use it often in certain settings as a test to see how people understand certain aspects of the deen. It doesn't really say the word nifaq in it anywhere. But all the scholars who took this hadith and added it to their collections that came later, the collections where they were just focused on putting a hadith under specific themes, all of them took this hadith and put it under the theme of nifaq because it actually explains that. And once you hear it, you understand why. This is what Sayyidina Anas said. قال عن أنس قال قلما خطبنا النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إلا قال. He said, rarely did the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام ever give a khutbah, except somewhere in it he said the following. قال لا إيمان لمن لا أمانة له ولا دين لمن لا عهد له. So that's it. This the simplest of words, the shortest of phrases. Wallahi, extremely profound, just amazingly deep. He said, the one who does not have trustworthiness, لا إيمان لمن لا أمانة له. The one who does not have trustworthiness, the one who is not trustworthy, cannot claim they have Iman. La Iman. They cannot claim that they have belief in God or that they have faith in God. If they are not trustworthy, if they don't possess trustworthiness as an ethic, they can't walk around claiming they have Iman. وَلَا دِينَ لِمَنْ لَا عَهْدَ لَهُ. And the one who cannot hold his covenant, the one who can't keep their covenant. A covenant is an agreement, something you sign off on. Something that you agree with someone else upon is ahd. Anything that you and I verbally say, okay, I'll do this, yes, you'll do it, that's ahd. We've agreed verbally, it's ahd, it's a covenant. Anyone who cannot keep their covenants cannot claim they have religion, la deen, cannot claim that they're a part of a religion. He's talking about ours, alayhi salatu wasalam, because that's the one he's teaching. He's not teaching some other religion, he's teaching this one, Islam. So what he's saying, alayhi salatu wasalam, if you're not trustworthy, you can't walk around claiming you actually believe in la ilaha illallah. And if you cannot keep your word, if you can't see your agreements through, if you're not a person of your word, if you agree to something and then you don't actually see it through, if you promise something but then you go ahead and break it later on, then you can't walk around claiming that you're a part of this faith. This is what he's saying, alayhi salatu wasalam. We practice the opposite. We practice the opposite of this hadith. We take it, we flip it around, and then that's how we walk around acting. We flip it around and we make it لا أمانة لمن لا إيمان. Someone who's not religious can't be trustworthy. Someone who's not of our faith cannot be someone who's trusted. We walk around actually thinking these things and acting like that. When the Prophet ﷺ told us the opposite. He never said that. He never ever anywhere in his hadith or in the Quran or anywhere in his tradition or anywhere in his way of life did he assume that because someone wasn't Muslim that they couldn't be trusted, or that they didn't have good ethics, or that they wouldn't see their word through. He actually, all the treaties he ever signed in his life, he signed with people who weren't Muslim. Like he never signed a treaty with a Muslim, he signed it with non-Muslims, alayhi salatu wasalam. And if he didn't think that they were trustworthy, he would never sign a treaty with them to begin with. But what he came to his Sahaba and taught, and this is what Anas is saying, rarely did he give a khutbah without saying this at some point. That if you're not trustworthy, you can't walk around claiming you believe in him. And if you're not a person of your word, you can't keep your word, then you can't claim that you're a part of this. You can't act like you actually embrace Islam and that you're fully practicing if you don't have these basics. If these basic ethics. Exactly what I told you a couple of nights ago. When he said, Ayatul munafiqi idha haddatha kadhab wa idha tum. If they speak, they lie. When they dispute, they lose their ethics, and when they promise, they break their word. Basic ethics. The basic stuff. Just the basic human decency. If you don't have, losing it is the first sign of nifaq. And the Prophet ﷺ in this hadith takes it one step further with just 4 words. If you can't be trusted, then you can't walk around acting like you believe in la ilaha illallah, because that basic isn't there. That basic ethic isn't there. What you claim doesn't matter. If you can't keep your word, if you can't keep your promise, if you don't see your covenants through, it doesn't matter what religion you claim to belong to. It doesn't matter. If you can't do that, it doesn't matter. And that's why this hadith was always narrated under the chapter of nifaq. because it's explaining where the problem roots from. It roots from basic human decency being lost. And then we run around holding on to claims that have no truth to them. There's no truth to them. يروي الإمام أحمد في مسنده بسند حسن عن أنس رضي الله عنه قلما خطبنا النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إلا قال لا إيمان لمن لا أمانة له ولا دين لمن لا عهد له. صدق رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. جزاكم الله خيرا. بارك الله فيكم. Thank you for coming. Inshallah.